Most Istio confusion comes from one root cause. People memorize features, but never the traffic path. If you can trace the packet path, who intercepts, who routes, who enforces policy, and who forwards, you can debug almost anything faster. In this video, we build one end-to-end traffic mental model that covers sidecar mode, ingress and egress gateways, and ambient mode with ztunnel and waypoint proxies. Before we trace specific paths, keep this 5-step checklist in your head. Step 1. Name resolution. What IP or endpoint did the app target? Step 2. Interception. Did traffic get captured by a sidecar or ztunnel, and how? Step 3. Routing and policy. Where is the routing decision made? A sidecar, a gateway, or a waypoint? Step 4. Delivery. How does the request actually reach the destination workload process? Step 5. Response path. Does the return follow the same proxies, and where can it fail? We will reuse this same checklist for every traffic path in this video. Quick definitions before we go deeper. L4 means TCP and UDP level, covering ports and connections. L7 means application protocol aware, like HTTP methods, headers, and routes. Let us walk the golden path. Pod A calling Pod B over HTTP in classic sidecar mode. First, the application in Pod A makes a request to a service name, like reviews.default.svc.cluster.local. Think of this like dialing a contact name on your phone. You use a name, and the system resolves it to an actual address. Kubernetes DNS resolves that service name to a cluster IP. Next, the app opens a socket and sends the HTTP request. Here is the crucial thing. The app usually does not know Istio exists. Istio relies on transparent traffic interception inside the pod network namespace. Iptables or inftables rules redirect outbound traffic into the Envoy sidecar before it leaves the pod. Think of it like a security checkpoint at a building exit. Every package passes through, even if the sender did not plan for it. Now the source sidecar receives the outbound request. This is where Istio's Layer 7 intelligence becomes powerful. The sidecar evaluates HTTP routing rules, retries, timeouts, traffic shifting, and policy decisions based on host, path, and headers, all driven by your Istio configuration pushed from Istio. The source sidecar picks a specific destination endpoint and initiates the upstream connection, typically with mutual TLS if mesh policy requires it. That means the connection is encrypted and both sides verify each other's identity through certificates managed by Istio. On the destination side, the connection lands at the destination sidecar, not directly at the app. The destination sidecar handles inbound policy checks, like authorization rules, and then forwards the request to the application container port inside Pod B. The app processes the request and generates a response. That response flows back through the destination sidecar, across the network, through the source sidecar, and back to the calling application in Pod A. This round trip is why sidecar mode gives you rich HTTP telemetry, retry logic, and fine-grained policy enforcement. Both directions of traffic are mediated by Envoy proxies right next to the workload. One caveat: protocol detection and port naming affect whether Istio treats traffic as HTTP or falls back to opaque TCP handling. Now the same path, but for raw TCP instead of HTTP. The interception model is similar. App traffic is captured, sent through the source sidecar, forwarded to the destination sidecar, and delivered to the app. Think of it as the same highway system, but now the cargo is sealed containers instead of postcards. The checkpoint can weigh and scan them, but cannot read what is inside. Without HTTP parsing, Istio still enforces connection-level policy, provides mTLS transport security, and collects TCP telemetry. But you lose L7 features. Path-based routing, header matching, and HTTP-aware retry semantics become unavailable. The proxy sees bytes flowing through a TCP stream, not structured HTTP messages. So the path stays the same. The visibility and control semantics are different. Same roads, less understanding of the cargo. Now let us trace ingress traffic from an external client into the mesh. Think of this as the front door of a building with a receptionist who checks your badge and directs you to the right office. The client resolves your public host name and reaches a cloud load balancer. That load balancer forwards traffic to the Kubernetes service backing the Istio ingress gateway. The ingress gateway runs Envoy and acts as the mesh edge proxy. It accepts the incoming connection, evaluates gateway listeners and routing rules, and forwards the request to the target service. Here is where server name matters a lot. For HTTP, the host header drives the match. For TLS pass-through, the SNI, server name indication, decides which route applies. If the host or SNI does not match your gateway configuration, traffic fails before reaching any workload. After routing, the request proceeds to the destination, commonly through a destination sidecar in sidecar mode, then into the app. Common failure points include DNS mismatch, load balancer health issues, gateway selector mismatch, and host or SNI mismatch. Now let us exit the mesh. When a workload calls an external service, DNS resolution happens first, just like any outbound call. If you want Istio to understand and manage that external destination, you model it with a service entry. Think of it like adding a contact to your address book so the system knows how to handle calls to that number. From there, you have two broad patterns. Direct egress. The source proxy connects to the external destination directly. Or egress gateway. The source proxy first sends traffic to a dedicated egress gateway, and the gateway connects outward. Think of the egress gateway as a controlled exit checkpoint. Why use an egress gateway? Centralized policy enforcement, observability, controlled outbound IPs, and stricter audit boundaries. Depending on configuration, TLS may be passed through untouched or originated at specific proxy hops. The exact TLS behavior depends on your traffic policy and destination rules. Now let us switch mental models to ambient mode, starting with ztunnel only. In ambient mode, application pods do not have sidecar proxies. Instead, Istio uses a per-node ztunnel to provide the secure overlay. Think of ztunnel like a building-level security guard. Instead of putting a guard inside every room, one guard covers the entire floor. Traffic is transparently captured through cooperation between Istio CNI and ztunnel, not sidecar iptables inside every pod. The key design point is that ztunnel is intentionally scoped to layer 4. You get strong transport security with mTLS, L4 telemetry, and L4 authorization policy. But ztunnel does not parse HTTP. For traffic between ambient workloads, Istio uses HBONE tunneling, a secure tunnel built on mTLS, HTTP Connect, and HTTP/2 to carry application streams efficiently between ztunnel instances across nodes. To get layer 7 features in ambient mode, you add a waypoint proxy. Think of ztunnel as the L4 transport overlay, and waypoint as the L7 intelligence engine, like adding a smart receptionist who can read and understand letters, not just move sealed packages. A critical nuance in ambient mode. L7 policy enforcement is typically associated with the destination waypoint. When a resource is configured to use a waypoint, incoming traffic is forwarded through that waypoint, and the waypoint applies L7 policies like HTTP routing, retries, timeouts, L7 authorization, and HTTP metrics. The full ambient path with waypoint becomes capture at ztunnel, secure HBONE transport in the overlay, forward to the destination waypoint when required, apply L7 policy there, then deliver to the workload. Remember this split. Ztunnel handles L4 transport and security. Waypoint handles L7 intelligence. This separation is fundamental to how ambient mode works. Let us close with a practical debugging map. When traffic fails, first ask, which step of the 5-step path failed? Did name resolution fail? Was traffic not intercepted correctly? Did it hit the proxy but miss routing rules? Was it denied by a policy? Did it reach the destination proxy but not the app? Or did the response fail somewhere on the return path? Map common symptoms to the model. DNS errors point to step 1. Connection resets without proxy logs suggest an interception issue at step 2. 403 forbidden usually means policy denial at step 3. Connection success but empty response may indicate a delivery problem at step 4. This step-by-step path mapping is the difference between random YAML changes and fast, targeted diagnosis. If you remember only one thing from this video, remember this: DNS, intercept, route, and policy, deliver, response. Trace the path first. Configure second. Thank you for watching.